Hello and welcome. I am Arta Mehana and I'm honored to be hosting this series of podcasts covering topics on entrepreneurship, youth entrepreneurship in Western Balkans as part of the Youth Entrepreneurship Education Program. Today with me, I have a very honored guest, very interesting story that I'm looking forward for everybody to hear. Today with us, we have a very interesting guest. I'm looking forward for everybody to hear his story. He's a software developer, Shiri Mayeti, who has now almost 7 years experience. And I think he has been inspired from startup titans of the world by dropping out from the college and starting his own entrepreneurship initiatives. Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very glad for this opportunity to talk about the entrepreneurship in the Balkans. And thank you very much for the good introduction.
It's story time.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
I am Shiri Mayeti. I'm a self-taught developer. I started learning coding when I was young. I think it was in 9th grade. And since then, I'm hooked in programming. And what helped me a lot to achieve this dream of mine was to learn from websites that offer this opportunity to learn a lot of stuff online that in the past was not possible because you had to be there or it was expensive. And yeah, it's a very good feeling when you can achieve something with hard work and with online resources, and you don't need to have so much, just internet connection and laptop.
When did you decide that this is the field that you wanted to follow, and how did you come about finding the resources that you used to?
The first time that I got engaged with programming was back then. It was a forum in Kosovo. It was Kosovo Hackers Group.
Okay.
It was one of the first forums in Kosovo about programming, and back then I did like small scripts for my family and for friends for fun, and I got and passion about it to write scripts and what it is all around programming. And then I decided to go to the high school in informatics and mathematics. There
At what age did you start learning?
It was 9th grade. It means
okay.
14, like
okay.
15, like there. And in high school, I met many people that had the same passion because I was in direction informatics. And there, like, we shared many stories on how to do things. After high school, we continued in college in University of Pristina in the Faculty of Electronic Engineering. And yeah, since then, since the 9th grade, always doing something with programming, always learning, also doing projects, open source projects, and so on. Yeah.
Can you talk more about the projects that you have been involved with so far? I know you had experience abroad as well. You work for many companies outside of Kosovo. So
I worked. The first job in programming was in one startup that was here, Yama2. Yama2 is a startup for event booking. This was the first project that I worked on. I worked more in projects that are involved in the outside, like I provided a service here. But for example, I worked in USA, Michigan, for a project that was a platform for camping. It was a platform that we built with many of my colleagues, and it was a very great project because we learned a lot to see also this what I think is the best thing in programming is because you work in global scale. You are not dependent on local or national market, but you can expand and see yourself in a global scale, and that helped a lot and opened also my horizon. And then when I worked in Michigan, USA, I worked also a small project. It was an open source project. It was for World Vision, is a Christian organization in Pristina. The project was for medicaments search, to search where you can find many like medicaments that are rare to find in our country, and that also helped me to have like a problem solving mindset, like to have what problems does the society have, so you can solve it. And that was a pretty good experience on my side, that I am very happy to talk about it, because it's also for a good cause. And even you when you are an entrepreneur, you think always to solve problems that are for businesses or for people. I think this helped me a lot to think also for problems that are necessary in our country. After that, I worked in some companies in Germany, and there I worked like an freelancer in a company that is based in Munich. I also moved to Munich.
Okay.
I moved to Munich, but always like here in Pristina and in Munich, it's like always in travel.
Back and forth.
Back and forth, yeah. But it helps a lot to see yourself also in other regions, and to meet other people, to have like another perspective in your products that you have. And I think this is a good experience that everybody should have. And I think now with the internet, and you have like many possibilities to reach to people. Back then you had to go to meetings and have investors meeting and talk about how to get invested. Now you have websites like Angels List, Leap Funder, also just LinkedIn. Just connect with people and write them.
With the right people.
With the right people. It's a numbers game. So you need to try to write everybody. And I always take an example, Bill Gates. Bill Gates said that when he founded Microsoft, he wrote like 1,100 people to get invested in Microsoft, and just 10 people invested. Like it's a numbers game. So, and that is always the mindset. Just keep pushing.
So you were indeed inspired by Bill Gates.
Yeah, I was inspired on that matter, and yeah.
So you mentioned that today, especially in your field, there are no boundaries. Basically, you can offer services to any company anywhere in the world because internet connection. So technology has really changed the business landscape in Western Balkans. Now there are no excuses for young people saying, there are no opportunities here, because there are opportunities.
In 2019, I worked for a company that is in USA, Michigan, as a freelancer. And also just the story for Munich, for the Munich company. I saw the ad in LinkedIn, and I said, okay, I will try it. And it was like, I didn't even think about it. But after 3 or 4 days, they invite me to an interview and just to talk. And yeah, so it's the boundaries of physical boundaries doesn't exist in programming, because you can talk to people in everywhere, but not just in programming. You can talk for many investments, and I think this is the greatest thing. But also, not in programming wise, but e-commerce, for example, changed in Balkans. I think the turning point was when Corona happened, the pandemic.
Yeah.
There, people like closed because of the pandemic, and they saw that they need to have a service that are provided to people without being physical there. And I think this helped a lot also in the landscape of technology in Kosovo, because many people start working for the outside world, and also many business turn to e-commerce, because then they did the product selling in online matter and not just physical in the store. And it helped also many entrepreneurs to think you don't need much to open a business or a company. You just need to have an internet connection, and now you can on demand do the selling or the so I think this made it far more cheaper to be an entrepreneur, and far more easier to connect with the clients.
Considering your network of people that you hang around with, I guess there are like-minded people like you. What about the people outside of your network? Do young people in Kosovo or in Western Balkans in general know about the potential or the opportunities? Are we aware enough? Are our youth aware enough that there are indeed no boundaries and there are a lot of options that you can use if you want to grow yourself, or if you're going to grow an idea or an enterprise?
I think in the Balkans, the mindset is still young in this matter, but not just Balkans. I think it's the whole world that still is like
not
aware of that enough. Because, for example, I always talk to many friends of mine, and I take every time an example. I said, before, in the past, you had, for example, to go to a Harvard class, you had to go to Harvard. That is expensive, and to attend it. Now you have like Harvard CS 15, that is a free course online. You don't need to register anything, you just attend it. And I think this helps a lot to open also when one of the best universities of the world has something like that. It tells you that you have the resources of the world. You don't have not just the resources of Kosovo, you have the resources of the world to get knowledge that helps you in your way.
So you mentioned that you started learning from an early age. You had a growth mindset very early. What do we as a society have to do in order to nourish and foster this exact mindset to other younger people?
I think
think of society in general.
Government,
us as a support system.
In Kosovo, I think we need more stories be told.
Okay.
And more promotion in this way, like to promote people and also this way of learning. And because many people think you need to go to college, and after college you need to go to master thesis, and then you can work. But you need to have like the practical way of learning. And the practical way of learning, I think it's far less in Kosovo, and I think this needs to be improved. Also, the government needs to invest in that, to have companies that offer and to promote companies that offer that kind of learning. And as a society, it is changing. The youth is aware of it, and the youth, many people that I know, did the same way, because I also got it from somewhere. It's not like I woke up one day and said, okay, I will do this. But some people pay the path for me, and I think anybody that is in that position need to pay the path for the others. And this gonna help. Yeah.
Would you like to share more on who were the people or the
it got many. It's
aside of Bill Gates.
Aside of Bill Gates, I think it's
try local, Were there any role models, examples, or enterprises that you heard of and then you looked up to them and saw, oh, okay, this is something I want to do, I like to do?
companies in general, what inspired me, companies were like Microsoft, because that's the biggest thing that we knew back then. But also people like normal people, like friends of mine that did go in that way and just taught me it's not that hard that you think. It's not programming, but the learning of stuff online, it's not hard. It just need discipline, like everything in life, and you can do it also. And many people, so I don't want to mention names, because then if I forgot someone, it's like, okay.
No business with them anymore.
Yeah, it's many. It's like many people that helped me. It's it starts from people that I did a course on. It starts from friends that helped me with problems. It starts with professor that got my mindset to learn or to think about problems on that way. In high school, for example. But it's many people. It's not just, I cannot pinpoint and said, yeah, this one. But it many people, and and that's why I always try to be helpful for people, because this is how you grow, also as a person, but also in the professional wise.
Would you mind sharing some of the sources that you have used to learn?
Yes.
I think it would be good for us to know.
For me, it was forums, like forums, Kosovo Hackers Group, the first one. It was Free Code Camp, is a website that you can learn. It's a practical way of learning, and it has certificates for different kinds of disciplines in programming, and that is also very good. As I mentioned, Harvard CS15 is also a free online course that helps a lot. It's like you are in a lecture in Harvard, and many more. But I think what the best thing is in technology is the community. You have like Albanian developers group in Facebook. That is a huge group. I think it was 6,000. I don't know the number right now, so don't judge me. But I think in that kind of scale it is. And the community of programming and also of open source projects. This helps a lot. To work in open source project, you learn how to structure a product, how to manage clients, how to manage also developers that are working on it. And I think this is a good start, because if you work in open source, you see many products that also people work for that are very known or experienced, and you get to know the mindset and how to create a product and to maintain a product. You can start a product, but the main thing, the main issue or the main point that needs to be done is to maintain it. And in open source projects, you learn that, and that's I think one of the things that people should learn that are entrepreneurs, and also people that are passionate about creating products, online products, and that. Yeah.
So that would be somehow a step-by-step guide onto how to be an entrepreneur, more or less.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does technology come into bringing up new ideas and building new ideas from scratch? Is technology necessarily, or because when we talk about entrepreneurship, you are going on that direction on this conversation because that's your field, but I'd like your take on another perspective, because when you mentioned during your discussion that an entrepreneur sees solutions where other people see problems. And not all problems need a technology-oriented solution. Sometimes it can be something very simple. So can you be more general and say, how do we process, or how do we go on about building a new idea from scratch with or without technology being a factor?
I think nowadays
It doesn't have to be a cutting edge technology
Yeah.
always, or does it? In today's world.
in today's world, technology is not just for building a product. You can also marketing is like the marketing in online. It's like I think the largest thing that you can do now. And the problems to solve, it's not always to get a solvent in technology. It's about, you can marketing in technology, but you can also utilize technology and also find people, for example, investments online. And that's how it's the part of technology. I know that many problems doesn't need a solution in technology. I am aware of that, but unless you need to utilize the technology and to find your way to promote that solution. And I think technology or social media that is pretty large in our country, it's a very good way to promote that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there any thing that you would like to add to this conversation? I enjoyed the conversation a lot. It was nice to hear your story. I love stories, so it was very,
Thank you very much.
Insightful to hear from you as a young man.
Thank you very much. The only takeaway or just one thing that I want to share is that you are not bound by the country that you are in, and you can learn from everywhere in the world. And I think this is the biggest lesson that you can get from this conversation.
Thank you very much. It was very nice. Now, to everybody listening to this podcast, we are not advising you to drop out of college, but we are definitely telling you to look up to stories like Shirims and utilize the technology, the options that there are, and work on your dream, because everything is possible. You can, if you put the effort to it.
Yeah.
Is that?
That's a good last words. Also, I cannot add anything.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and we will be back with other stories like Shirims.